Michael Vaughan. Part 3. September 17, 2021 Reward Fund for Missing Boy more than doubles. Reward for safe return of Michael Monkey Joseph Vaughan available through November 15. Fruitland Police Chief J.D. Huff announced a major update this morning regarding the reward fund for missing 5-year-old Michael Monkey Joseph Vaughan. The fund has more than doubled, having grown to $26,000 this week with a major push from the community and Michael's parents. In a phone interview this morning, Huff said that a group of citizens earlier this week had raised $12,000 to give to Michael's parents to help the family out. They told me to turn around and put that toward the reward fund, he said. Shortly after that, the family brought in another significant donation for the fund, boosting it to the current amount. That's a big deal, Huff said. Every time that grows, we're hoping the incentive to come forward with information grows, maybe it motivates people who could benefit from it. The reward for the safe return of Michael is available through November 15, Huff said. Michael went missing from his home on July 27, and as the days wear on and the 2-month mark is approaching, the chief said you can tell it is taking a toll on Michael's parents. However, they remain hopeful, as does the chief. They remain 100% cooperative, and the fact that they are giving up money donated to them means something. It is a big deal, Huff said. They want their child home, and I do, too. I want Michael home safely. The police chief said all options regarding Michael's whereabouts remain on the table, with an immense amount of data that has been collected which is still being combed through. In addition to video footage from residents and businesses, data has come in from a lot of places, Huff said. This includes tips, which are still regularly coming in. We continue to follow up on leads, he said. Every tip 415 and counting is being followed up on. We're just waiting for that one thread to push us in the right direction and help us get this unraveled, Huff said. Law enforcement officials are staying after it, he said, adding that the FBI is still here every week assisting members of the Fruitland Police Department. Idaho State Police are working from a distance on tasks related to the case, such as following up on leads that are outside of the local area but elsewhere in the state. Anything outside of the state is handled by the FBI. It's so nice having the FBI with us throughout the week, Huff said. This is the heart of the operation. The investigation is going on all day, every day, and agencies outside of our state area actively following up on leads and tips. Fruitland has also recruited more local departments when possible, as they sometimes see a quicker response. Some of the same areas have been revisited in the search, Huff said, adding that Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue searched a few areas once more last week, and the plan is for more places to be looked at again as the irrigation season winds down and water is shut down. An official with the irrigation district this morning said that irrigation in the city of Fruitland will probably last into mid or late October. Due to the dry year, the hope is to let farmers go into the fall kind of wet. While the water rights allow usage through October 31st, it may only go through about October 20th. A date will likely be determined around October 7th during the next meeting. I really think it would be in our best interest to cover that drainage again, even though we know people have been in there, Huff said. We'll cover it for a 3rd or 4th time. Fields around the area of Southwest 9th, which is where Michael was last seen near his home, will be searched again, as well, with harvesting of crops having started. Continuing to search in that area as fields get cleared will give law enforcement officials a clear indicator of whether Michael is there. Huff stated that in addition to law enforcement and community members, farmers are aware and have their eyes open for any signs of Michael, too. What to know? For more information online, including a downloadable flyer or how to provide tips, including anonymous tips, visit https://bit.ly/help find Michael. Michael was last seen in the area of SW 9th St and South Arizona Avenue in Fruitland at about 6:30 to 7:15 p.m. on July 27. He was wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt, dark blue or black boxer briefs with a green stripe and child's size 11, blue flip-flops. He is 3 foot 7 inches tall, 50 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes.
It has been 7 weeks since 5-year-old Michael Vaughan was last seen in his neighborhood in Fruitland, and the community remains vigilant to finding him. Fruitland police have received more than 400 tips from the community and say they followed up on every single one of them. They also plan to re-interview people to make sure no detail is missed. Another Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue team with a specialized canine unit was sent to aid in the search. Fruitland police want the community to know that finding Michael is a top priority, and they're doing their best to give regular updates on their efforts. They're asking everyone to contact them with any information regarding his whereabouts. Michael, by the way, was last seen in his neighborhood on Southwest 9th in Fruitland about 6:30, July 27th. He was last seen wearing a light blue Minecraft t-shirt. He also answers to the nickname Monkey. I want to remind everyone that tips can be sent to the City of Fruitland's direct tip line. You can also send tips to the Payette County Sheriff's Office and Crime Stoppers.
To a lot of people. And when one of their neighbors or one of their members of the community needs something, they're willing to jump out and help.
More than 50 days after he went missing, the search for 5-year-old Michael Vaughan continues. Fruitland police saying while search efforts have changed within the past few months, their commitment to finding that little Fruitland boy has not. A reward to find Michael has now been increased to $26,000. Our Tristan Lewis has been following this devastating story out of Fruitland since the beginning. You join us now in the studio. Tell us about the latest community efforts.
So, Carolyn, much of that reward it has been donated from people throughout the community. Anonymous community members, Fruitland police say the Vaughns actually received a large donation recently and put that to the community's reward. Community fundraisers have been going on for the past month, and it's all in hopes to help bring Michael home and help his family. While there's only just a few teams taking up playing space on pool tables at the Double Diamond Steakhouse and Saloon, next weekend, the owner of the New Plymouth Bar and Grill expects the place to be filled, all because of a close cause near and dear to the Payette County community's heart.
We want to try to do whatever we can to help bring him home.
Double Diamond is hosting a pool tournament and silent auction for the Vaughan family, whose 5-year-old son, Michael Vaughan, went missing on July 27th.
This is Fruitland, Payette County, Boise, Idaho, Treasure Valley. We don't have those kinds of things happen here. So it's disturbing. And to have it in such a small-knit community, it doesn't make sense.
Although it's been nearly 2 months since Michael's disappearance from his home in Fruitland, search efforts remain vigilant. Fruitland police writing on Facebook Friday, the search has taken on several phases. But please know, what has not changed is our commitment and our hope to bring this little boy back to our community and to those who love him.
And they're just going to continue the search until they're able to bring answers to the family.
The communities surrounding the Vaughns have not given up either. Many continue to support the family however they can, by spreading the word about Michael, donating money, or putting on fundraisers, like Robin Kuzma and Double Diamond.
The fact that this is a small community, it still has that hometown feel. And whether or not you know the family directly, you know somebody that does. And so it's almost as if everybody is a neighbor, even if they're half a county away or even towards Boise or Twin Falls.
A portion of what the pool tournament makes will go towards Michael's family. Whether it is using it to add to the reward fund, continuing to spread Michael's picture and name, or anything else.
Whatever they think is the best use of those funds is how we want them to spend it.
Now, this tournament is next Saturday, and sign-ups start at 4 p.m. and play kicks off at 5. It's a $20 buy-in with $10 going towards the Vaughan family, but Double Diamond will match the donations raised for the family. Carolyn?
Thank you for bringing us that update. We hope it changes very soon and we see that little boy.
Well, it's been 72 days since 5-year-old Michael Vaughan was last seen outside his neighborhood in Fruitland. Now, police continue to investigate every detail of the case, and now they have a new lead that may bring them closer to bringing the missing boy home. Our Tristan Lewis has been covering this case since July, and he joins us now in the studio. Tristan, you spoke with the police chief, J.D. Huff. What did he have to say?
Sure, this new lead was brought to police by a witness who had vehicle information. Chief Huff says it could prove to be very helpful with tightening up the timeline of Michael's disappearance, and details about this information was not released, but Huff says he's excited he's able to continue to move things on. And so far, police have received 471 tips in regard to Michael's disappearance, and they continue to follow up on each one. Investigators continue to look through neighborhood surveillance videos from July 27th. The last night Michael was seen. And he was last seen on Southwest 9th Street, Washington Avenue, and Cornwall Way area between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. While looking through footage, they discovered 2 vehicles that were in the area around that same time he was last seen. One of the cars was a 2016 to 2020 white Honda Pilot. The other car was a 2010 to 2011 blue Dodge Avenger.
These people are not suspects or persons of interest, but it's important for us to talk to each one of them. That helps us complete the picture of the events that took place that evening, and that is the reason why we're seeking these people. We're trying to talk to everybody and get every, tidbit of information that might help us, piece this together.
Officials also say 2 people were last seen near the splash pad at Crestview Park on that evening. One of the people police want to speak with is a man with dark hair and facial hair. He was wearing dark-colored shorts, no shirt, and jogging on that sidewalk around 6:15 p.m. the day Michael went missing. The other person was also a man with dark hair. He was wearing a white T-shirt and black shorts. Anyone with any information is urged to contact the Fruitland Police Department at 208-642-6006.
If anybody has anything, knows anything, or has seen anything, and was in that area on or around July 27th, strongly encouraging people to come forward. We really need that information. And based on the fact that, we still have people out there with significant information that have not brought that information forward, it encourages us, and we know they're still out there.
The reward for Michael's safe return has also increased to $40,000. It's available through November 5th to anyone with information that leads to his return. Fruitland PD are still working close with the FBI and Idaho State Police on this case. Huff says this remains a very active investigation. He says that he and 3 other officers at Fruitland PD are working on this case every single day. And Shira, he told me over the phone that they're combing through each video and tip intensely.
Wow, Tristan, hopefully these leads lead to bringing Michael back home soon. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate having everybody here today. I'd just like to introduce those who I have up here with me today. I've got Captain Matt Sly with the Idaho State Police, and I've got Supervising Agent Doug Hart with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And then I also have joining us today the mother of Michael Joseph Vaughan, Brandy Neal. Thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate you. I want to start out by thanking our friends from the media for being here and giving us another opportunity to get Michael back in the headlines and at the forefront. Michael's case has impacted everyone who has heard about it, but likely not as much as it has impacted Brandy, Tyler, Michael's family, and the law enforcement officers working day in and day out to find him. I want to express my sincere thanks to you all for being here and covering the updates that we have for you today. The search for Michael will not stop until he's found, and the search remains very active. As I've said to the public, the effort may look a little bit different from time to time, but those of us in law enforcement leading the search and the investigation, Michael's on the top of our mind. He's our top priority, and finding him is an intense daily part of our lives. Michael Joseph Vaughan was last seen near his residence on Southwest 9th Street at approximately 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. The first missing and endangered child alert went out at 8:20 p.m. with 4 different alerts to email, phone calls, text messages being issued to the area residents until 11:20 p.m. that night. Michael's image and information went out to law enforcement nationwide and a database called the National Center for the National Crime Information Center, and Michael has also been entered in the State of Idaho Missing Person Clearinghouse. From the time of notification, an exhaustive search effort and criminal investigation began simultaneously. So our ground searches are based on the highest probability that Michael may have wandered off, potentially gotten hurt, stuck in an irrigation ditch, a swimming pool, an outbuilding, an old appliance, a junk vehicle, anywhere a 50-pound curious boy could hide himself. We wanted to make sure that all the ground within a 1 to 2 mile radius from Southwest 9th Street, where Michael lives, has been searched by residential homeowners, professional searchers, law enforcement, and specifically trained canines. And not just one of these groups, but by all of these groups. As such, we've been conducting these searches continuously, even up to this week. On Monday of this week, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue with specialty canines and the Fruitland Police Department conducted searches in the front and backyards of nearly all the homes on Southwest 9th Street, as well as another large acreage off of Northwest 1st Street in between Nevada and Highway 95. On Tuesday, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue with their specialty canines, with the Fruitland Police Department, the Idaho State Police, who had a drone in the air, and the FBI, we methodically searched the farm ground to the southeast and southwest of Southwest 9th Street. And combined, we searched close to 1,000 acres this week. Why would we continue to search areas that have been searched multiple times before? Well, because we haven't found Michael yet, and conditions change. So further, you can imagine going home every night as a law enforcement officer wondering, did we miss something during that search? Michael, Brandy, and Tyler, and the community continues to count on us to keep up the search, and that is why we continue to search. And I've said from the beginning that as long as those resources are available, we will continue to ask for them. Remember that a criminal investigation, that happened at the same time of notification as the time that Michael went missing. And due to the fact that we've conducted multiple searches using every tool available to us with no success, it increases the possibility that Michael was abducted. From the beginning until we find Michael, we're considering every possibility and following up on every lead developed, every tip that comes in, and the total number of tips that we've received to date is over 557. The majority of those tips have been cleared by investigation. The others are currently being worked on. Word of our search has gone worldwide, and tips on where he might be have come in from literally around the globe. Thanks to resources available to us again, every tip, regardless of how many miles away, is going to be followed up on. We're committed, and we work together to support each other. Every day we come to work, we work through the exhaustion. For investigators, there's always highs and lows. Each day we go through these highs and lows, and but what I can tell you is, I can tell you with certainty that the Fruitland Police Department and our law enforcement partners are using every resource available, and will continue to look into every possibility until we know exactly what happened. We're steadfast in our commitment to bringing Michael home safely. I want to thank each and every search member, the search teams that have been out here, and each and every investigator for their time and expertise and the commitment they've put into helping us bring Michael home. We also want to emphasize Michael's family, who continues to be fully cooperative, working closely with us on almost a daily basis. We ask the community to continue to respect their privacy. As for the reward for Michael, the reward for Michael's safe return remains in effect, and it's increased. The amount is increased to $50,100, and that's for anyone having information leading to the safe return of Michael, and that'll be available until March 31st, 2022. I should also note that Michael's family has made considerable contributions to this reward fund, as have members of the community, and every donation that we've pulled in has been appreciated. I'm going to continue to update our Facebook page periodically during the course of this investigation. I'll continue to do so if we have some significant developments, and our efforts to keep the community informed as the best we can. And so with that, at this time, I'd like to introduce Michael's mother, Brandy. Brandy is representing the Vaughan family today, and she would like to give a statement. So, Brandy.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for all being here today. My name is Brandy Neal, and I am Michael Joseph Vaughan's mama. I am here before all of you today on behalf of my family to speak about Michael. As much and everyone in our family wants to be up here in front of all of you today, I am here to speak on all of our behalf. I am here to ask you all, I'm here to ask you, please for your help. I am here to ask you to please keep Michael's face, his name, and his story in every one of your hearts, your eyes, and your minds. It has been 115 days. 115 days. He has not been home. And we need every one of you. I need you. I need your help to bring my baby home. I need you to see his beautiful smile. I need you to see how happy he is. That smile was one of our most favorite camping trips. He got to see his first beaver dam, and he got to catch so many frogs that day, and he was so excited. His beautiful blue eyes. He was so happy that day because I promised we would go get ice cream cones. And he laughed so hard because his baby sister got to have her first ice cream cone, and it was everywhere. We got to play at the park that whole day. It was warm, it was sunny, and we played catch, we played football until it got dark. I need you. I need your help, please. I need you to know how much Michael is loved. I need you to know how much he is missed. Our family is broken without him. We miss his laughs, his smiles. We miss his hugs. I need you to know He is such a sweet, fun, exciting little boy. He brings such joy and love to our family and everyone that he knows and that knows him. Michael has a laugh that is beyond contagious. You can't help but smile and laugh when you hear his laugh. We need him home. I am asking for your help. I am asking for everyone's help. Please, please, if you know anything at all, if you know something, please, I am begging. This is my baby. This is my son. I need him home. I want him home. Please, I need your help to bring him home. I want to thank all of the community and the extended communities and everyone who continues to keep Michael in your thoughts, in your prayers, and in your eyes. Please keep sharing his picture. Please, any information to help bring my son home. I want to thank the Fruitland Police Department, the state, FBI. I want to thank all of them for their continued support. They have become family, and they are his son too. So please, please, please help me. Please help me bring my baby home. Please keep us please keep us all in your prayers. Anything, please help. Please help us bring our baby home.
Thank you, Brandy. So at this time, I'll take a few questions. Go ahead.
Sir, what are some of the more credible tips that you folks have received? I know you said you got nearly 600, but have any bore any fruit to any extent so far?
I will tell you that several of them have bore fruit, but they just don't go anywhere. So as far as credible tips, we've received several credible tips. We work on those every single day. We just find that they take us nowhere at the end of the day. So those are the highs and lows that we talk about. So that's about all I can say about that.
Is there any update with the white Honda Pilot and the mail update that you guys had in that surveillance camera that you put on Facebook a few weeks ago?
There is no update on that. We still have not located the driver of the white Honda Pilot or that individual that we've seen walking down through the park right about that time frame, as I've described in the past.
Do you believe that this car or this person may be a suspect in this at all or have any information?
I don't, but we certainly need to identify them just due to the fact that they were in the area around the time that Michael went missing. They may have seen something. We just don't know that until we talk to them.
Any other individuals you guys are seeking for information or suspect?
Not at this time. We're still coming through, large amounts of data to try to come up with new leads. Once we do, if we need the public's help in identifying that, then we'll certainly reach out to you guys.
Have there been any areas that have been ruled out?
So I understand your question. Are you talking about areas of like ground or what?
Ground, search, just anywhere.
Yeah, I think that, as we move forward and, we've had multiple searches, multiple canines, professionals, law enforcement, all over this ground around within that 1 to 2 mile radius, like I said. It would lead us to believe that there's a possibility that he was abducted. So as we continue to kind of work through this process and eliminate these possibilities, that's where we're led.
Is there any sense of increased urgency now that winter is approaching with the change in weather, the change in conditions to the search that you guys are dealing with?
Well, yes, there is, and that's exactly why we conducted another search this week, as a matter of fact. So the change in weather, the change in conditions, we wanted to make sure that we were out there and we had professionals with eyes on the ground at every inch to make sure that that ground was covered before the snow flies. So, Corey?
Has Michael's name been registered on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children?
Yes, it has, with NCMEC, yes.
Right, and with your permission to ask a question, Randy, how?
No, you need to direct those questions toward me.
We've been curious at the newspaper how this is affecting how they plan to spend the holidays together.
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, the holidays under these circumstances, Corey, are going to be extremely tough for the family. So, and as law enforcement partners, we're going to continue to lift them up and stand right beside them and help them get through these tough times. So, and I would ask that the community help us with that as well.
And as the community continues to be invested in this case, I know it's reached states all over the country. Are there any partner agencies? I mean, we have the FBI, we have out-of-state police. Is there any other partner agencies, maybe in Oregon or in Utah, that you guys have been in contact with?
You know, we've had agencies from outside this state, multiple local law enforcement agencies help us with this. You know, some of the states, we've had California, Alabama, Utah, several law enforcement agencies helping us with this. And as we get these tips that are out of state, we'll continue to recruit more help when it comes to finding Michael. So, yeah.
I know you said the family's been very cooperative with police so far in the search. You mentioned earlier in the conference that the likelihood of this being an abduction seems to be a little greater at this point. What has the search been like with the relatives and extended family? Have you folks spoken at all with them?
Yes, we have. We've spoken to them through Brandy and Tyler. And, you know, it just, I will tell you, it just, you know, we're where we're at. It didn't yield. It's not yielding. So is that what you're asking me?
If yes, have you gotten any leads from aunts, uncles, grandparents?
Yeah, we have not at this point. Okay, I think we're going to conclude. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us here on this Friday edition of the News at 10. I'm Shira Matsuzela, and we're staying on top of the search for the missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughan from Fruitland. Police say nothing has been ruled out, and the likelihood this case is possible abduction increases each day. Our Tristan Lewis joins us now with more about what partnering agencies are providing to the case. Tristan.
Shira, numerous agencies locally and out of the state are working with Fruitland PD to find Michael, from Idaho State Police to the FBI, each making it clear their mission is to recover Michael and bring him home. After months of searches and sharing his face and name, the question still remains, where is 5-year-old Michael Vaughan?
It's been surprising to me that this case has not gotten more national attention.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has been following Michael's case since he went missing on July 27th. In 2020, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children was able to resolve more than 27,000 missing children cases. More than 1,100 of those were abductions.
And due to the fact that we've conducted multiple searches using every tool available to us with no success, it increases the possibility that Michael was abducted.
Even with the heightened possibility Michael has been abducted and still missing 4 months later, the center says communities cannot give up hope.
We always want to remind people that it is important to stay vigilant in these types of cases, because more time goes on, you know, the less and less attention a case like this gets.
A big part of what the center does is make sure missing children's stories are not forgotten. They go on national media programs, share images and details on social media, and more to reach new people.
Because at this point, police, that's what they're relying on, is help from the public.
They believe law enforcement in the case are doing a good job of encouraging people to reach out and send information if they've seen or heard anything in regard to Michael. But they don't believe that's enough.
I would like to see this case get more national attention. Because if this child was indeed abducted, who knows where this child is now? The child may be nowhere near Fruitland. It's important to make sure that everybody's looking for Michael, no matter where they live.
And I reached out to Fruitland Police, and they tell me they are still working to identify that white Honda Pilot and a man with a dark hair wearing a white T-shirt and black shorts that were in the area the time Michael disappeared. They are not considered suspects, but police want to talk with them about what they may have seen or know. And Shira, this again continues to be an ongoing investigation by Fruitland Police.
I know the community isn't giving up hope, so thank you for keeping us updated.
Nearly 5 months since little Michael Vaughan, a 5-year-old boy from Fruitland, was first reported missing. Search efforts and investigations into where he could be, might be, continue.
Tonight, his mother, speaking to us tonight, believes her son was abducted and is asking that he will be returned safely home.
She sat down with our Tristan Lewis for the first time. And Tristan, you've been on this story since it first broke back in the summer, and she says she is not giving up hope.
Yeah, Mark and Kim, Michael's mother, Brandy Neal, says pure panic and fear is what went through her mind when she found out Michael was missing. And while she and her family are working to be more present, there is not a moment that goes by she does not think of him.
The detective and the captain brought this over yesterday.
Generosity is something Brandy Neal and her family have seen a lot of in the past few months.
We always put the Christmas tree up as a family and decorate it together. It's always something we do. And talking with the older kids the day before yesterday, we weren't going to put it up this year.
A donated Christmas tree from Fruitland High School students on Tuesday, decorated with ornaments. Another act of kindness from a community shaken by the disappearance.
And so this was a blessing.
A blessing. But what she is really looking for is a clue to what happened to her son.
I don't even know how to explain how you do it every day, how you keep going, but you can't give up, you have to try.
Michael Vaughan has been reported missing since July 27th. Brandy was at her job that day, and Michael's father, Tyler Vaughan, was watching the kids. She was scheduled to work until 9 that night. She got a call at 7:04 p.m.
Tyler said he couldn't find Michael. He was screaming for him, and I could hear the fear in his voice, and I froze at the moment. My coworker saw me, and it's like, go. And I ran, I grabbed my purse, and I drove as fast as I could here.
Pulling into her neighborhood that night, she saw police and neighbors everywhere, shouting and searching for Michael.
It's a blur because it was all so much, but there were people still out in the fields at 4 o'clock in the morning, community members, because we didn't leave outside for months.
Although Brandy describes Michael as a friendly and curious boy, she says he rarely wandered off outside by himself. And the few times he did, it was never farther than the end of their street.
The feeling was that he may have wandered, but I didn't believe that. I didn't believe that.
Today, what do you think?
I believe my son has been abducted. I believe somebody took him.
Not a second goes by Brandy does not think about Michael. Even those few moments she's enjoying time with her family or watching her other kids' activities at school, she said she feels some guilt.
There was some jokes made, and I got very emotional. And my beautiful daughter, Mama, it's okay not to live in sadness all the time. Like, she told me that, she's like, it's not good for us to live in sadness all the time. And she's right. And she said, it's not that you're not thinking about him, and we're not thinking about him, but we gotta try, Mama. I said, okay.
While she tries to live in the present more, her desire to find Michael stays just as strong. She continues to ask everyone to continue to share Michael's story.
Because somebody has to know something. Somebody has to have seen something. And you just try to keep pushing forward.
Brandy and her family thank everyone who has been there for them throughout the past few months, and she says they continue working with the Fruitland Police Department, who, she says, at this time has become more like family to her. And Mark and Kim, getting Michael's name and picture out there nationwide is what she's working to accomplish. Anyone with any information, again, is asked to contact the Fruitland Police Department.
It's heartbreaking, and I know so many people right now are praying to give her strength and her family strength as she's going through this. It's just so difficult to hear.
Unthinkable.
Yeah.
Tristan. Nobody's going to give up hope for sure.
Tonight, family, friends, and the community in Fruitland gathered to hold a candlelight vigil for missing 5-year-old Michael Vaughan. Now, Michael, also affectionately known as Monkey, has been missing since July, and our Andrew Bartline was at that vigil. Andrew, how was the turnout, and did the family have anything to say?
They did, Sharon. We'll get to that in a moment. There was around 50 people gathered at the Fruitland City Park, just blocks away from where Michael Vaughan was last seen in late July. The crowd lit candles, joined in song, and the vigil opened in a prayer for Michael and his family. The prayer asked for Michael's safe return home and to bless the family as they push through these holidays without Michael. Michael's mother, Brandy Neal, shared a few words for people in attendance. She thanked the police and community members for their continued efforts to look for her son, and she also took a moment to speak directly to her son, Michael, as well.
We will never give up hope, my love. We are here to help light your way home. Not a single one of us will ever give up until you are home safe, and you will come home. And we will not stop, and none of us will stop until you come home. And we love you so much, and we all miss you so much. And we won't stop. I promise, and Pinky promise, baby. Pinky promise, we will never stop, please.
Michael's family continues to ask people to keep sharing Michael's picture and to keep talking about their missing son. They want his picture to be everywhere in hopes of keeping awareness high and potentially opening up a lead that brings Michael back home safely. The reward for providing information that leads to Michael's safe return is now more than $52,000. Shira.
Your heart just goes out to them. Thanks, Andrew.
December 24, 2021. Have a tip about Michael. Michael Monkey Joseph Vaughan, 5, of Fruitland, has been missing since July 27, having last been seen near his neighborhood. For tips, contact the Payette County Sheriffs at 208-642-6000. 6006, extension 0, or email tips to find Michael at fruitland.org. Anonymous tips can be sent through Crime Stoppers at 208-343-2677, 343cops.com. Fruitland as the search for missing 5-year-old Michael Joseph Monkey Vaughan surpasses 150 days. The Fruitland Police Department reminded the community this week to keep him in their thoughts, both in their own lives and as they gathered to celebrate the holidays with their families. According to an update posted to the community on its Facebook page on December 22, the department has received 738 leads in its ongoing search. The update reads, in part, the Fruitland Police Department with the assistance of the Idaho State Police and the FBI continue to search for missing 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan. Our efforts over the last few weeks have included more ground searches in a remote forested area north of Weiser. Investigators continue to work every lead that comes in. The post expresses the department's gratitude to the community for their support in its monumental task of searching for Michael. As most of us prepare to spend a Christmas holiday gathered at a table with family and friends, we ask you keep those who are unable to gather in your prayers, specifically 5-year-old Michael Joseph Vaughan. There will be an empty seat at his family's table, and for many of us in this community, an empty place in our hearts until Michael comes home. It also reminds the community to be grateful for the things they have now. May this Christmas be a time we focus on our blessings and remember the greatness of a community is measured by the compassion of its members. Have a Merry Christmas. An outpouring of support can be observed in the comments section of the department's post. Our family is forever grateful for the Fruitland Police Department, Idaho State Police, and the FBI for their continued support in efforts to bring Michael home, wrote Brandy Neal, Michael's mother. As I have said before, they have become family as well as the community. As you keep Michael and our family in your thoughts and prayers, please keep these amazing officers and agencies in your prayers as well. Their hearts are as heavy as ours. Multiple requests to Neal from the Argus for an in-depth interview have been unreturned. Sharon Sherwood wrote, "This is still so unbelievably heartbreaking. Nobody should have to go through this. Christmas is going to be so hard for his family." Terry McCoy added, "Prayers for everyone, and may God please bring Michael home with the help of all this community and police force."